In this video clip, English teacher Becky Beeler explains to her sophomores the why and the how of creating an individualized agenda of mini-lessons and practice. Her students will self-select which mini-lesson sessions to attend based on their proficiency scores in sentence fluency and conventions on their most recent writing assignment.
This is the lesson that I told you I've been working so hard on that we are going to implement today. And it is around sentence fluency and conventions. And we need it. That's the why. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you, conventions. We're 3B. Okay, exceeding on conventions, remember, comma, semicolon, apostrophe, spelling words correctly. Okay. That we had 2 people exceed the benchmarks, which is great. We had 5 people who were almost there in exceeding. Okay, very good. 4 more people proficient. This is probably, well, actually, you guys were the best class of my 4 in conventions. But is there still work to do? You betcha. Okay. We still have 20 people who are not proficient, and that's our goal today: is to get everybody to move up. Okay, I want you guys on your next paper, I want to see at least 10 people move from not proficient to proficient, and I want the 4.5 people to move to 5, okay? And the 5 people, the 2 people that had 5s, you're going to even add advanced punctuation. You're going to throw in a dash or a colon because we're going to work on that today. Okay? And when it comes to sentence fluency, you guys did pretty well. 6 people exceeded the benchmarks, 3 are almost there, 8 proficient, but we still have 14 people. And even if you exceed, it doesn't mean that you can't make better sentences, because you can. Okay? So, today we are going to do 4, we're going to have 8, because Mrs. Payne here, who I need to introduce, my buddy S-Dog, Mrs. Payne, she was an English teacher. We used to teach advanced English together. She taught sophomore English. She is now our school's instructional coach, if you will. I love to collaborate with Mrs. Payne to make lessons that's fun. We work really well together. And I asked her to help me with these little mini lessons. So she's going to be teaching 4, and I will be teaching 4. You guys will set up your own agenda today based on your own individual needs. In session 1, we are both teaching sentence pattern 6. Why do you think we are both doing that? Because there are a lot. It's one of 2 really big errors that people make consistently. Okay, I'm happy that you're writing sentence pattern 6, those types of sentences, the dependent clause and independent clause, but it's not enough just to write it. You've got to put the comma where it goes. Okay, so we're going to help you with that. For the second session, and these sessions are 11 minutes, okay, sentence pattern 2, I keep seeing SP2 on my papers. I cram sentences together, and I really need to fix the situation. You really do. If you're a crammer, we have to fix that. So you will go attend sentence pattern 2 with Mrs. Payne. Okay? Those, a couple people with 5s, 4.5s, and even people with 4 who don't write those run-on cram sentences, you can attend advanced punctuation. Okay. Third session, sentence combining. This is sentence fluency. Okay? We had a problem the last 2 classes in that people didn't think they needed sentence combining. I'm here to tell you you do. Okay? So, but the other thing is sentence pattern 4 goes at the same time, and many, many people identified that they needed help with that. If you see sentence pattern 4, SP4 on a line on your paper more than once or twice, which many of you have that, definitely attend SP4. Okay, and then the last sentence session is 4 is sentence beginnings. Okay, all of you people that don't have a 4, you should really consider going to sentence beginnings, because a lot of times you write the same sentence types over and over, subject, verb, and Mrs. Payne will give you some cool ways to start your sentences. Okay, and then finally, I'll be teaching apostrophes. The objective: you will identify areas in your own writing where you need improvement, specifically regarding sentence fluency and conventions. You will create your own agenda for the day based on your individual needs, not what your bud's doing. This is not about your bud. This is about you. And the most important thing is I want you to consult your narrative and fix it. Now, I'm going to say this, and this is crucial. When you are not in a session, okay, or not practicing, which I'll explain in a minute, your goal by the end of today should be to fix every single error in your narrative.
Whoa.
It's not. Okay? I really, truly want this to happen because you guys can do worksheets till you're blue in the face. You can do them well. You'll do great in our little mini lessons. But it's about going back to your own writing and fixing the errors that you make with your own writing and figuring out how to fix them in the future for subsequent writing. So you have stuff to work on when you're not in a session. You can practice. When you're done practicing, go right into your narrative. Yes. Let me show you how to set up your agenda. So you have this little key here. You have to make sure that you go across session 1 and see what's offered, and then write it on session 1. So session 1 is easy. If you're going to attend SP6, write SP6 there. And I'm hoping that half of you will probably do that. Okay? For second session, decide, are you going to do SP2 or advanced punctuation, and write that into your agenda there. If you're not going to attend either one, I'd like you to write down what is it you're going to practice during that session. Okay? Session 3, you're going to be doing either sentence combining or SP4. Write that down. If you're not attending either, write down what you will be practicing. Okay? And then session 4, same thing, sentence beginning or apostrophes. I'd like everyone to fill out their agenda now. If you're having a hard time figuring out what you should do, raise your hand and we can come around and help you.
As you can see from the instructions, the students set up an individualized agenda guided by a series of if-then statements. The classroom was divided into 3 sections, 2 mini lesson stations and an independent work area. When students were not attending a mini lesson, they should have been either working on other areas for improvement or applying what they had learned to their own writing.
Exactly, but what's the first thing we have for sentence pattern 4? Independent clause. Okay, team. Here we go. The dog chased after me. How do we know this is an independent clause? It has a subject, which is the dog, okay? And it has a verb, chase. So some of you guys have seen this already. The independent clause can stand on its own. This is the really dorky but fun way to remember this, okay? It's a complete thought.
Look at number 1 on here. One option. Having 2 teachers in the classroom was advantageous in that the number of mini lesson topics was doubled, giving students a wider range of choices. It was a challenge, however, to have 2 lessons going on at the same time within the classroom. One teacher doing 3 or 4 successive mini lessons is a very workable model, and the remediation sessions could be spread out over several weeks, providing multiple opportunities for students to learn and apply a concept, rather than offering them all in one day.
Great force, and I move with great force to the beginning of that sentence, and I start off with great force, comma, Jim hit the ball. Okay, so now I've mixed it up a little bit. What sentence pattern did I just create there?
You would do apostrophe S. Okay? So we're going to
I
practice.
took a phrase
And you can look at your
and put it at the beginning.
So the one way to see
Exactly.
if you,
Okay, so that is
wanna
sentence
add-
pattern 10, and that's why I have to have a comma there.
an apostrophe,
Okay.
see if it's possessive.
So if you don't have that filled in, fill in
phrase
sentence
around
pattern
and make it of the. Okay, now, can we throw down, is this an independent clause? I ran like the wind. Yes, it is. Okay, it has our subject, I, and ran our verb. I ran like the wind, yeah.
This was Becky's first time implementing a series of differentiated mini lessons with students creating their own agenda. And while there are some things she will change the next time, overall she was very happy with how it went. And most importantly, she noticed an improvement in her students' writing.
Is there a sentence pattern, by the way?
The responses students wrote in their exit ticket reflections also revealed that the vast majority found this process helpful and that they were able to articulate new understandings that they gained from the mini lessons.
We are sloppy.
Is it a 10 or a 6? Does it have a subject and a verb in that part about 255? Alright, how about you guys? Oh, this one.
Egregious. Means big time. Horrible. Okay, this example right here of hot dogs, okay, with an apostrophe S, that is an egregious mistake. And it's, they call it apostrophe abuse. Okay? You don't put an apostrophe ever to make something plural.